If you step into any untouched stretch of wilderness, you are immediately surrounded by a dizzying storm of life. There are millions of organisms darting through the shadows, and many of them remain completely unrecorded by science. When a researcher actually manages to isolate a newly discovered creature, they face a massive structural problem. They cannot simply guess where it fits into the tree of life, or randomly assign it a name based on its appearance. Biological classification operates through a hierarchy of steps, where every stage represents a distinct rank. We are going to break down how this biological sorting engine actually works and track how a living, breathing entity is assigned its specific taxonomic position. Without this universal architecture holding everything together, the sheer scale of global biodiversity would remain an unsolvable, unnavigable mystery. Let's step out of the macro chaos of the jungle and look at a single, isolated specimen to see how the sorting process begins. The framework relies on two separate ideas. The first is a category. You can think of a category as an empty placeholder, an abstract rank that makes up one step in the overarching arrangement. The second concept is a taxon, or plural, taxa. If the category is the empty rank, the taxon is the actual concrete unit of classification that fills it. Take this insect. We can clearly observe that it shares specific, recognizable physical features with other insects, most notably 3 pairs of jointed legs. These shared, recognizable characters define insects as a distinct biological entity, a specific taxon, distinct from a loose collection of similar-looking organisms. The category provides the abstract rank in our system, while the taxon is the living reality that gives that rank its meaning. Zooming out, we can see how these individual ranks stack together to form the global filing system for all known plants and animals. This diagram outlines the hierarchy. At the bottom, the structure begins with species. For every organism, species serves as the lowest foundational category. From there, categories become progressively broader. Similar species are grouped into a genus, genera into a family, families into an order, and orders into a class. As we near the top, terminology splits. For animals, classes are grouped into a phylum. For plants, we use division. Finally, all these branches converge at the apex. This is the kingdom, the highest category encompassing every branch beneath it. This rigid, towering hierarchy acts as the universal engine, creating a direct logical line connecting the most isolated, specific species to the broadest kingdoms of life. We now have an empty structural architecture, and we have our isolated insect organism. The remaining procedural question is, how do taxonomists actually decide which of these specific categories an organism belongs in? Placing any individual or group into this system requires a meticulous knowledge of its characters, its distinct biological and physical traits. Scientists map characters to identify similarities between individuals of the same kind, isolating exactly where their traits overlap. Then they compare those findings against other organisms. Mapping exactly where these profiles diverge defines the precise boundary where one group ends and another begins. Systematically observing these fundamental traits provides the data required to place an organism into its specific taxonomic rank. The architecture of classification and the observation of characters reveals the dense chaos of the natural world